Morning. Having a coffee in the least practical mug I could find. Having a little snack. It's a Rocky. I'm going to do a little post walk and camp review of some of the kit that I took with me on the recent video. If you haven't watched it, check it out. I'll put a link, but it's the previous video to this one, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. A little bit of energy. So I've got some of the kit here in front of me, and I'll talk through the bits that I think did well, some that need a little bit of improving, maybe replacing, and a couple of other things I'm thinking of getting to improve the camping and hiking experience. So it's probably going to be easier if I switch around and film from a different angle, because the stuff's kind of bulky to get in shot, so bear with me. First thing to talk about is the bag. You might have seen it on my favourite rucksacks video, the Carrymore Panther 65. Did really well. It's pretty comfortable. I mean, I had aching shoulders and a sore back after the 22 miles of hiking and the camp in the middle. But for a bag that's probably about 30 years old, it did well. A little bit muddy, needs a bit of a clean. Everything fitted in here okay, you'll have seen that in the video. I think I packed it a little bit too heavy, kind of higher up, so that might be why I had a bit of a sore back. And it might have sort of been pulling on my shoulders a bit, I don't know. It's quite an adjustable bag anyway. You've got these bits here at the top, this whole bit slides up and down, so I could have played around a bit with that, but it did okay. It has got quite good padding here, so I think that was what Ed was complaining about with his. He's got an Osprey bag, and the problem he was having was where his hip belt pushed on the belt he was wearing. I think that's the problem he was having. But otherwise my bag did okay. And for a vintage bag, it's still going strong, and I'm quite happy to use that again. Let's talk about the tent. Obviously I'm not going to open it out in my dining area. This is the Quick Hiker 2 Quechua from Decathlon. Had this a few years, it's been in a few videos. I'll probably cut to me setting this up while I'm talking. As the name suggests, it's quick to set up. It just requires two poles, two main poles, and then one that kind of braces across the top. And it's a two-man tent. And unlike a lot of two-man tents, you could actually fit two people. Sorry, well, two people. The kit might have to go outside, but I mean, I can easily fit in there with loads of stuff. So. It does the job. It's 2.7 kilos. When fully packed, I carried it in just its bag at the bottom of the rucksack, and then the poles and pegs and things were separate in the bag, just to kind of compress things a little. But yeah, very good tent. Used it a lot. Gonna keep using it. No need to replace that. Other sleeping bits and bobs. My sleeping bag, which is difficult to show on camera, but I will get to the labels. Snugpak Softy 6 Kestrel. Comfort 0 degrees. Extreme -5. I've used this all year round really. It's made in UK, which you don't see very often these days. Had it for years. I don't know how long I've had this now, but I've used it all year round, and it does the job. It's synthetic, so it doesn't actually compress down as much as I would like, but it did fit in my rucksack. I am, however, thinking of not replacing this, but trying out a relatively affordable down bag of some kind that I can compress much smaller, but I was quite comfortable in this. Added to it, I had my just fresh out of the wash cotton liner. Underneath it I had my car reflective screen protecting thing that also acts as a bit of insulation, and also my OEX 3/4 length inflatable mat. It was okay. I have got a full length version of this, but I'm going to have a look out for something a little bit thicker, just as sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. I tend to sleep on my side. It does well. It's packs down, you know, relatively thin. You can even pack it a bit more than it is at the moment, and fits in the bag, fits in pannier bags as well, so does its job. Also, you might have seen in the video I was wearing this this lovely outfit. It's not a onesie, it's a twosie. Yeah, so this is, I think they call it like a zoot suit, or it's a survival suit, just made out of thin nylon, silk nylon or sil nylon. And it just adds like a degree of warmth. I've used it a couple of times camping. It does the trick. In fact, to be honest, I was a little bit too warm on that camp, so probably wasn't necessary to bring that, but you never know what the temperature's going to do. And it packs down into its own pocket, nice and tidy. Move on to some of the cooking things you might have seen in the video. First one being my now well used Stanley cook set, which lives in this chalk bag. That's the baggins. It's quite handy having everything all in one bag. So we've got like the gas canister, cook set, a pot stand, which always comes in handy, especially in the woods, and cup as well. And inside, and inside there, gas burner. So that little lot is really good for boiling up water quickly. I've got no intention of changing that. I've got a few other cook sets and things that I use now and then, but this one does really well. As I say, fits in that pouch there, which fitted in the side pocket of my rucksack. Boiled my water quickly. But in the morning though, I wanted to do something a little different, just to change things out a bit. So I got out the honey stove, which I've had for a little while, but not used that much. There, so you've got all the bits that come with it. You can see the bits that I used last time, slightly charred. I'll probably cut to me actually using it rather than just looking at it like this, but you can see it always looks good when it's had a bit of use. It gives it that nice weathered appearance. And then there are the extra bits here to make it into a larger cooking space, to cook a bigger, use a bigger pot. Oh, you can see me reflected. But yeah, that worked really well. I'm happy with this, because even though it is steel, if you just take the smaller bits, even if you take the whole thing, it doesn't weigh that much. Packs into its little pouch, fits in a bag easy. Definitely something I'll be using more in the future. And I have the little David Friars pouch with my little lighting bits and pieces in it. A lighter, some fuel tabs, there's some matches in there. And I hadn't used this before, it's that wax paper stuff. I've got a whole load of it. Took that with me. I mean, I kind of cheated lighting it with a lighter, but you can be a bit more bushcrafty and use the sparks. Another thing to review is the sloe gin. You see that nice colour there. You might have seen the video I did in the past about when I foraged the sloes for this. That was back in 2022, this particular batch. Then got bottled June 2023 and sat there till last weekend where me and Ed tasted it. And it's nice, but as you can see we didn't have that much of it. I think it was up to about here when I opened it, so Ed had a taste, I had a taste, and I had a few more tastes, which kept me awake for a while because it's quite sweet. But yeah, very successful. Again, I'm not going to be bringing this on every hiking camp, otherwise, yeah, it won't end well. The camera, I could reflect on that, I guess. The Canon G7X Mark II still works really well, doesn't need replacing. What I do want to get though is a different tripod to take as well. I use this GorillaPod that the camera is balanced on top of the cookset at the moment to get a good angle. I need to get a lightweight, taller tripod, because when we were in the woods filming I had to keep balancing it on different logs and things, and when I looked back it's okay, it's fine, but it would have been nice to have a better angle on, especially when there's two of us. When it's just me I can just focus it on me, but when there's two people it is better to get a more interesting angle. Food I took was good. The UK military 24-hour ration pack, which I didn't even finish, there's still plenty more left in there. I still think you can stretch those out to a good 48 hours if you've got a plan ahead and you don't eat too much. There's loads in there. So they're definitely, I mean, they're heavy, that's one thing, but you know, they fill you up and you'll have plenty to eat and drink. Oh yeah, one of the other things I was thinking of getting, talking about cooksets and things, is a wind protector. I know you can make them, and I'm happy to make things, but I'll keep an eye out for a lightweight, like folding one, sort of concertinas, and then it goes round, because I'd like to use my Trangia burner with the honey stove again. I've done it in the past, but it could be a bit fiddly. Doesn't always like the wind, so getting some sort of wind shield would be good. That's probably about it really for this little quick summing up review video of the previous video. Until next time, cheers.